Okay, there we go. It looks promising, but looks can be deceiving. So let's fly it and find out what happens. Okay, a nice smooth ascent, but it was smooth last time at first. We'll see what happens when the SRBs detach. We may not have to wait for that. We're getting some wobble already. Okay. Okay, that may help it. 10 kilometers, let's begin our pitch. We'll pitch over to 45 and see where we get from there. I'm thinking it's looking a little better. I think I pitched a little too far, so back off a bit. Alright, looking better. Except the apoapsis isn't climbing very far. We may end up having to try this one again with this same model. A little bit better flight profile. Alright, this is doing better. Apoapsis is climbing again. We're climbing pretty good. Looks to be about a 60-degree pitch or so. 60, 65. I think the problem is I pitched over too far at first. Now start pitching over a little bit more. Okay, now this is the stage that I want to use at least part of for the moon injection burn. And I don't think that's going to happen. Not on this flight. Maybe, but I doubt it. That fuel is going away fast. No, it's having to use lander fuel just to finish getting it to orbit. This is no good. This is just no good. So, how about just cut the throttle, stage all this stuff away, and bring Jet back, and we'll figure something else out. Alright. And once again, Jeb proves that he's getting real good at landing. Alright. Once again, back to recovery and then the vehicle assembly building. Alright, here we are back in the assembly building. And I will say that it has actually been about 2 days since the last clip, and in that time I've looked it over some, and I have gone ahead and installed Ferram Aerospace Reseach. Now this thing, I understand it makes a lot of changes to aerodynamics and drag and such like, and I just kind of want to see if it's going to be beneficial to this budding space program. I think it should be. Alright, I did want to make a little bit of changes to this thing. And first up, in the action groups, let's see, we've got solar panels on one, and I don't think we have anything anywhere else. Okay. I'm going to put in action group 0, I'm going to toggle the gimbals. I'm going to do it also for this engine, because I think part of the wobble was engine gimbal induced to begin with. Let's get out of that. I also want to make a change up here on the lander, a couple actually. There's the center engine, there's the decouplers for the outboard engines. Move this onto a separate stage of its own so that it can be lit without getting rid of this. And, yeah. I was thinking perhaps of running some fuel lines, but perhaps I don't have to. I did just think of something else though. Okay, action group 2. Let us toggle the ladders so that I don't have to go hunting around trying to right click on them. I've always found that kind of annoying. Now one of the things Ferram does is it does a whole lot of emphasis on aerodynamic drag and stuff like that. So we go to aerodynamics, and let's go ahead and drop an aerodynamic nose cone on each of those. Instead of presenting a flat surface, have something roughly aerodynamic, and I'll go ahead and put them up here on the solid boosters as well. And I think that should be just about it. This thing should be just about ready to fly. So, let's adjourn to the launch pad and find out. Right, here we are. Let's drag this thing into a more reasonable place. You know, there's a bunch of settings and data and stuff like that. I have no idea how to use any of it just yet, so I'm just going to leave it down here where I can see the Mach number. I don't know what frac SL density is. Well, frac would be fractional. SL, I have no idea. But apparently that density is 0.979 right now, which means absolutely nothing to me. Alright, make sure that engine gimbal is locked. There we go. Let's see, these numbers here, CL, CD, and CM. Again, CM, perhaps center of mass. I doubt it though. CD, no idea. CL, no idea. So, rather than try to puzzle all of that out, let us start the SAS. Well, let's bring this up, throttle it up, and let's go. Smooth liftoff so far. It's kind of leaning to the left here. Trying to pitch over just a little bit to counter that. Throttling back to avoid overspeed, because we're accelerating even with half throttle, so just let the boosters do their thing. Approaching Mach 1. Okay, now we're at Mach 1 and solids haven't even burned out yet. There goes the solid boosters, beginning the very initial part of a pitch over. We have a bit of wobble, but it's not as bad as it was. Just gradually continue pitching. Throttling up to full now. I'm holding right and it's moving left. Throttle off. This is double not good. Trying to pitch back over in the right direction. Having a difficult time of it. Now it's finally going there, but let's see. Can we save this? Can we continue this mission? Throttle on half. Just enough to keep accelerating. How about that? Okay. This design definitely still needs a lot of work. Okay, see if we can hold this pitch. And let's have a look at this. So busy watching Mach numbers, I should have been paying attention to this. Okay, doing better. Don't pitch down anymore, pitch up. Alright, hold this. Full throttle now. We are descending like a crazy person here. And this ship is not going to orbit. Throttle off and let's stage it away. And at this point, let's just make sure we can save our pilot. Obviously, we need to rework a bit here. How's that for a last-minute parachute deploy? But a good touchdown just the same. And now back to the VAB. Alright, we have a good touchdown, even if the capsule does roll like crazy. And now I will recover our capsule and pilot and get back to the VAB again. Alright, here we are back in the VAB. Close this stuff up. Now, let's see, what should we do to make this a little more stable, whatever. Perhaps a bit more steering authority down here. As in put some winglets on the boosters. That should help, I would think. That, and perhaps not throttle up more than half at liftoff. Because with these 4 boosters going, we don't need full engine throttle. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a try. We'll save this, and I will see you on the launch pad. Alright, here we are. Let's make sure the engine gimbals are in fact disabled. Engines, gimbals are locked. Throttle to roughly about half, I would say. SAS on, and Oh yes, open this up and let's go. Okay. Little bit of a roll, but as long as it isn't bad, I'm going to leave it alone. Seems to be alright so far. Accelerating smoothly. SRB's about half used. Maybe this is a little bit too much winglet on those SRBs. We'll see when we get rid of them. Looks like we're getting more on track. Throttle up a bit, but not too much. See if we can get pointed to the east. We need to start a gravity turn anyway. Obviously this design needs a lot of work, but for the time being, it seems to be functioning. Definitely too much wing on the SRBs. I need to take and cut that down to half. Meanwhile, we are accelerating, gaining altitude, pushing the apoapsis ahead of us. All the things that we need to be doing right now. Gradually pitching more. Getting ready to ditch the first stage. There it goes. Looking a lot better. A very shaky liftoff, and yes, it needs a lot of work. Perhaps I should activate engine gimbaling now. There. That seems to be helping. I do like having a hotkey for that rather than having to search for it and right-click while in flight, especially this part of a flight. Okay, let's just hold this pitch right here. Guessing that's about 60 degrees. It's kind of hard to tell. It's always been hard for me to read the nav ball for pitch angles. You know, they've got the heading showing down here. I really wish they'd showed me the pitch as well. Throttling up to full like I should have when this stage first lit. Now we're accelerating again. Looking good. Now we can afford to pitch over a little more. Get closer to 45 degrees. Third stage on. This should be the one that pretty much puts us in orbit. Apoapsis climbing a lot faster now. Looking a lot better. Pitching over a little bit more. get that apoapsis up over 70 kilometers, which I think it's going to get there pretty quickly. It's climbing very fast now. Our orbital velocity is increasing considerably. '67, '68, '69, '70. Okay. Let's pitch to the horizon. Get rid of that stage. Okay, we've got 80 kilometer apoapsis. Let's just leave it right there. Duck out here real fast and plot a circularization burn. Put 78 by 81 looks good to me. We assume the position and get ready to burn it. That's 435 meters per second to get that burn. And this stage has got 535 left. That looks like we'll be able to use some of it for the injection burn. Alright, 51 second burn, so I guess we'll start up at about 26. Warp ahead a little bit. But not too much. Okay. Let's turn on those outside lights and hit the solar panels. Looking very good. Trying to follow that blue marker, which is a little touchy. The ASAS no longer appears to follow it on its own anymore, which would be, in my opinion, a negative aspect of the recent changes. Okay, 80 by 73. I'm going to call that a good enough orbit. I'm not going to be in this orbit all that long anyway. Set moon as target. How's our inclination? 1.5. Yeah, we'll have to work on that a bit. Okay, that's a positive number, so we want to move it negative. .0. Let's get rolled around. Now watch, I've got the opposite direction. Yeah, I do. It would have been faster to roll the other direction. But we're not in any hurry. We have over 9 minutes.